Ladies and gentlemen, here I have with me today the Pat Flynn, the very one from Smart Passive Income. How you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm glad that you're here. This is an honor. I want to just ask you really quick questions. You can answer them as honestly or as short as long as you want. Tell us about your first financial experience that has made you feel like an adult.
Well, I remember in college, I started working as a waiter, and then I got moved into a bartender, and that was the first time really that I started making money that I was eventually going to turn into rent money. And so I think that was the first time, because that was the first time I had used my own money to pay for rent instead of my parents' money. So it felt really good to write that large check, probably the largest check I've ever written out of my own pocket before.
Wow.
So that was my first adult experience, meaning it was money that I earned, that I paid for something like shelter.
Speak about a time when money was tight and you had an emergency. What happened?
Sure. Well, in 2008, I was working a good job as an architect, and unfortunately, I learned I was going to get laid off. And that was right after, 2 months after I had proposed to my wife. And, you know, my wife is Filipina. Weddings with Filipinos are huge. So I was thinking in my mind, wow, we have a lot of things to think about as far as paying for the wedding and what are we going to do for a living and things like that. So we did a number of things, and obviously communication is important with those who are around you. We decided to both move in back with our parents, and that was an interesting time in my life, you know, being a 22, 23-year-old or moving back with your parents. And, you know, it was cool because, you know, free meals, right? Free laundry. Yeah, exactly. But, you know, a lot of people think that moving back in with your parents is failure, you know, but for me, it was an opportunity to sort of reset and figure out what to do next. And that's when I got into internet business and, you know, doing that whole thing, which definitely was life-changing thing for me. So money was tight at the time, and moving back with my parents and, you know, being frugal and wise with where I was spending money became a high priority. And it was just, you know, worked out quite nicely.
Worked out for a lot of people that you're helping too. Thank you very much for all that.
Of course.
Please share with us a time when you had money put aside in savings and when it came in handy.
Well, about a month ago, my family and I went to a Disney cruise. And this is something that we've been saving up for a long time. And, you know, money is doing okay for us, but we always know that, you know, we don't want to just spend money just for whatever reason. We've been planning this vacation for a long time, putting a few $100 in every month for about a year and a half or 2 years, knowing that it would pay off then. And we finally went on this vacation, and it was amazing. And, you know, I have 2 kids, a 1-year-old daughter, almost 4-year-old son, and, you know, I think my wife and I, you know, we're both Disney freaks too, so we all had a great time. And it was just so nice to know that that money was there already waiting for us. It was like the reward for saving that money was going on this trip, not having to dip into anything, and we all just had a great time.
I'm going to do some rapid-fire questions really quick and just see if you can answer them. Do you have a 5-year goal?
I do. I have a 1-year goal, a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal, and I think that's it. But, you know, it's important to have these goals, and, you know, a 5-year goal is a long way away, which is why you want to break things down and have a 1-year goal to help progress and get to that 5-year goal. But my 5-year goal is really to have my kids in a school that is going to be teaching them an education that will help them improve who they are as a person. So living situation, make sure we're living in a good neighborhood with a good school. That's very important to us as a family. Also, I want to personally and business-wise have a traditional book on the market at that time. I have ebooks and a lot of things like that, and I know a lot of people are sort of going toward that route of publishing an ebook, but there's something about having that traditional book, you know, when you go to the store and you can see through, like, I want to go to Barnes & Noble or whatever bookstore seems to be around at that time with my kids and be like, this is Daddy's work, and he worked hard for this. You could be here too. And so that's my goal. I would love to, in 5 years, go to a bookstore, point out my book to my kids.
Have you ever leased a car?
Never leased a car, no.
Okay. Have you ever purchased a suit or dress or outfit that cost more than $1,000?
Only recently, because, and I'm not trying to make excuses for this, but I've been doing a lot of public speaking lately. And, you know, the appearances that you have on stage, you know, I'm just trying to give myself as much of an edge as possible. And recently, I purchased a jacket, just a jacket, that was $2,500. It was the most money I've ever spent on clothes. But it's one that's going to last a really long time. I don't think I'm growing anymore, so I don't have to worry about that. And, you know, psychologically, when I put on that coat, you know, I'm in presenting mode. And it helps me as a speaker, and it helps everybody else who's listening as I deliver information. But it was definitely weird paying that much for money. Like, I shop at Target, right? But I figured it was an investment for my business.
Yes. Is your household budget written, electronic, or non-existent?
It's electronic.
Podcasting, alive, dead, or barely treading water?
It's just starting out, I think. It's been around for a while, and it was typically around, only the techie people would know about it and know how to figure it out. But it's getting so easy now to produce a show. You'll see more and more shows coming. And there are 350 million blogs out there. There's only 300,000 podcasts. There's still a lot of opportunity in the podcasting world, and it's going to grow. It's just starting out, I think.
I believe that too. Last question. If given the opportunity to compete in a blogger-themed edition of Wipeout, would you enter?
Where can I sign up? Absolutely.
All right. Pat Flynn, thank you very much. And I've got a special gift I want to give you. This is probably, you've said it many times, your favorite thing in the world. So I want to just give you a handwritten thank you card for coming on the show.
I appreciate that.
And being on the Money Plan SOS podcast. Thank you very much.